We've got a bit more of a clearer picture, I suppose, of when international travel might be able to resume, that in the sense that it's not going to be anytime soon. But how did you react to that news this week? And you've got Qantas, Virgin pushing flights back to December, and the international travel unlikely to resume before mid next year.
Yeah, well, I suppose on the surface it was a bit disappointing, although nothing, as far as I can see, has really changed. If you notice in the budget, it made very clear that the exemptions to that international travel would be what they call safe travel zones. And obviously that's New Zealand. I suspect Singapore will come online pretty soon, and perhaps some other, Southeast Asian or South Pacific islands. So, we're not too worried. The Virgin and Qantas news is not surprising. International travel's not as important for them as domestic is. So, most of the international airlines coming in here are Middle Eastern or Southeast Asian or American. So, we're not really surprised about this. I think we will open up a number of safe travel zones over the next 6 months. I'll be surprised. Obviously, it depends on what happens with infection levels and variants in this, but that's what I'd see at the moment.
And you think that'll be enough to tie you over?
Yeah, look, we in Australia and New Zealand, we do quite a bit of domestic travel, particularly in our corporate business. And I was talking to our people in the UK and North America this morning, and they're quite confident it's coming back quite well over there. And half our business, more than half our business now, is in that area of the world. So it's obviously we'd prefer if Australia would open up internationally quicker, but I think they will, as long as it's safe and or it's deemed safe. And there's a lot of variables still. But I'm still reasonably optimistic. I think over the next 12 months, we'll see quite a few international routes come back. And obviously the vaccinations are incredibly important because you will have to be vaccinated to travel to some countries, that's for sure.
When do you think, and this is a government's call, obviously, and it's dependent on a lot of things, but when do you think, what's your hunch, Graham, on when people may be able to travel back to the US again or the UK again?
Look, it depends a lot on what their status is over the next 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
My feeling is the way things are going, and this is Canada as well with the vaccine rollout. I think they've got 45% of Canadians now with at least one vaccination. I think it'll probably happen in the next 6 months. The soonest would be 3 months, the most would be 6 months, but it would be contingent on them being what you might call a green zone or a safe travel zone. And it's changing rapidly there, but there could be setbacks. The UK is obviously getting this Indian variant there now. I was talking to our Indian MD last night, and it looks like the AstraZeneca vaccine, which they do use in India, is working against this variant. So I don't think that'll change things too much because they've had so much infection there. So, it's a moving feast at the moment, I'm afraid.
Have you had much in the way of cancellations this week, Graham, because Qantas and Virgin had to push those flights back?
No, look, not a lot. It's the Southeast Asian carriers and the Middle Eastern carriers probably that have by far the most international flights, particularly to Europe and the UK at the moment. So, Virgin and Qantas, things like, infections, local infections, such as, we've had over the last week, do worry people. Most people are more worried than anything about, getting stranded interstate or in New Zealand or something like that. So that's the sort of thing that really affects our domestic and, say, trans-Tasman. So, but the international carriers, the ones that have been running their flights, generally people have to do this for essential travel, and there hasn't been any major reaction to that at the moment.
Okay, Graham Turner, the co-founder of Flight Centre Travel Group. Thanks for your time as always, Graham. We'll talk to you soon.